Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game featuring La Granja. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add La Granja to your collection. This is the game La Granja, and in this game you are trying to get points. That is how you're going to win the game. However, getting these points isn't very easy. So I'm going to show you how you can play the game to score the points. La Granja was a game that was released a while ago, but they just currently released the Deluxe Master Set, and it includes the base game plus 12 extra modules to add to the game. But I'm going to start by going over the rounds of how you play the game. And the first thing you want to do is place a card. Now, the really interesting thing about these cards is you have a choice of 4 different options when you're playing a card. So over here we have our fields, and by playing a card each round, you're going to gain whatever resource is in your fields. So there can be olives, grapes, or if you had one here, it is wheat. Your next option is you want to increase your field. And by doing that, you have to pay a resource. And up here, for the first card you do 1 of any of the resources. The next card, it's 2 resources, but they cannot be the same resource. And if you're playing a third card, you do 3 resources. And again, they all have to be different resources. And if you were to go out 4 again, you pay 4 resources. But the farm extensions give you some great benefits. So for example, this card here lets you gain a coin with each revenue and gives you another spot to hold a pig. This one lets you pay a coin to have an extra delivery and you gain an extra coin in revenue. Or this one lets you pay a coin to have an extra delivery and have an extra spot for a pig. And then you always have a card hand of 3 and you're always allowed to pay for 1 extra delivery already on your board. But with each additional card, you go up. So by here, you would have a card hand of 5. And the benefit of that is you just have more cards to pick from when you're making your choices of which cards you want to play. Now up here is the market Barrow. And that is this top of the card. And it's giving you another place to deliver your resources. And these are the cards that are going to gain you a lot of points. So they're very beneficial to use, and I'll be talking a bit more about that later. And down here is where you put your helpers. So I had this card here in step 3 of the farm phase. I can spend 1 silver or place 1 additional harvest good on up to 2 fields with unique harvest goods. So it's giving me some extra goods to harvest. And there's a whole slot of different benefits that these cards hold. So if I was playing, let's play this one, and I'm going to play it up here into my market Barrow, and I'm just sliding it right in like that, and it will be ready to go on my turn. And then you would take cards back into your hand up into that. So I have 5, so I could gain a couple cards and have it ready, because there will be other times later in the game where you're able to play a card as well if you choose. So once everybody has their cards, the next thing is you're getting revenue. Now when you start the game, none of this is here, but by this point in the game, I get 3 revenue here, plus this one is 4 revenue, plus I get a choice of a resource. For my resource, I am going to pick a pig. I could have picked the olives, the wheat, or the grapes, but I'm going to go for the pig. So I just put a little token there. Now these tokens represent everything. Depending where you put them, that is what they represent. So the resources don't have their own little, like olives have olives and grapes have grapes. Your little tokens represent everything, and it's all dependent where you put them. So now that we have done that, it is time to do the farming. Now, because I have 2 pigs, my 2 pigs had a baby, and I have a spot here for the little baby. So I put another pig there. Then we go to the other side of the board and I am able to get an olive and a grape. And with that, the farming part of the board is done. After you complete your farming, we come over here and we can buy a tile. So I just laid out these tiles from round 5. Each round, the tile costs the amount that the round is in. So in round 2, it costs 2 coins, then 3 coins, then 4 coins. So whoever's the first player can decide first if they want one and which one they want, and then it gives you a benefit. So if you come back over to my board, I had bought some tiles in round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So I actually never used the benefit of this tile. That's why it's still facing this way. And the benefit was that I could have upgraded an item and then turned over the tile. But the other benefit of getting the tiles is you get points. And each time you get a tile, you get some more points. So this was 4 points. This tile actually was, the benefit was I would get double points. And I could have used it right away, which I did, and I got 6 points. Or I could have waited to see if I filled this one in to get 8 points. But I wasn't sure if I would be spending the money on another tile, so I got it right away. Some of the other benefits are, this one gave me a pig. I think that also gave me a pig. And then this one allowed me to play another card onto my board. And that's when I was saying that there's other ways that you can play cards, not just at the beginning of the round. And so there are some benefits to getting the tiles, but really you don't always have the money to do so. The next stage is what they call the revenue stage, and it involves some dice. So this is a 2-player game we've set up. So we use 5 dice. So we roll them, and we get a lot of ones. So it all varies on what you roll and what you're able to do, but I'll go through each of the benefits. So with the ones, you're able to get a pig into your farm, where I showed you where the pigs go. If we had a 2, you're able to play a card or get an olive, wheat, or grape. With a 3, you're able to get 2 of the resources, but 2 different resources. With a 4, you get 4 coins. With the 5, you get an option to upgrade 2 items or upgrade 1 item and go up the Siesta track 1 part, which I'll show you in the next phase, or go up the Siesta track by 2. And finally, with the 6, you can make a delivery or you can get 2 coins. And how it works is whoever is first would pick the first die and do the action. Whoever's second might pick the second die and do the action. Then it goes back to the first player and then the second player, and what's ever left, both players would do that action. The next stage is to make our deliveries, and we are delivering the goods. So currently I have an olive, I've got a grape, and over here I have 3 pigs. And we can make a delivery either to our market, Barrow, or to the craft market. There are 6 craft markets on the board, so I'm going to go over each of them. So this first one here is about money. Once you deliver 6 coins, you're able to get this token. Now immediately you will receive 3 coins. Then we place it on the board like I had on mine, I showed you earlier, and then each time at the beginning of the round when we're collecting our revenue, we would receive an additional 3 coins each round. So this is a good one to try and get early in the game. This one here, you deliver an upgraded olive or wheat, an upgraded grapes, which turns into wine, and an upgraded pig, which turns into ham. Once you do so, you immediately get a delivery, and you get so many points based on where you sit on the Siesta track. And then going forward, you will always get an additional delivery and an additional spot on the Siesta track. This one here, you need to deliver olive, wheat, grapes, pig, and 1 coin. Once you do that, you are able to automatically gain 2 points. And then going forward, every time you complete at a craft market, you would get an additional 2 points. Down here is commodities. And once you deliver 3 commodities, then you immediately get another one. And it's basically putting one of your tokens on the commodities and you can use it later. And then you put this tile down in the revenue area, and each round you will get another token on the commodities, which gives you a whole slew of benefits. I'll show you again once we're back on the board. This one here, you deliver 2 olives, 2 wheats, 2 grapes, and you get this tile, and this is the tile I had on my board, where you get to choose one of these each time. And being able to choose the pig is a really big benefit. And finally, this one here, you want to deliver 3 pigs. When you get this, you immediately get points based on if you have any markets currently going on your board. And then going forward, every time you deliver a market barrow, you would receive another point. So when I mentioned commodities, this is the area here. You're able to put one of your tokens in here. And at any time during the game, you can trade it in for either 4 coins, 2 different resources, play a card, get a pig, or upgrade 2 of your items. And that is an anytime action. And a couple other anytime actions are you can purchase resources for the amount in red, and you can upgrade the resource as well for the amount in red. So if you don't have a benefit that lets you gain a resource or upgrade a resource, you're always able to do it by paying money. So let's go back to our deliveries. That is the stage we are in. Now I want to deliver my olives, my grapes, and I want to deliver one of my pigs. So I want to make 3 deliveries. Now at the beginning of the game, and then again at round 4, you get them back, you get these tiles, and these are your choices. It's either 1 delivery, 3 moves on Siesta, 2 deliveries and 2 moves on Siesta, 4 deliveries, or 3 deliveries and 1 move on the Siesta. Now the other benefit is I have this free delivery ongoing. So I only need to put 2 here, because the 2 plus this one gives me 3 deliveries. So I can deliver those 3 goods that I want to deliver. But before we deliver, we look at our siestas, and I have 3 movements on the siesta track. So before we deliver, we're going to move up the siesta track. So this here is the siesta track. So at the end of each round, we go back to the bottom, and whoever is first is on top. So I had a movement of 3, which gets me here. So say my opponent had a movement of 2. They would come here. Now, I would still be in first place. However, if they also went with a movement of 3 and came on top, then this is the point of the game where the first and second place will switch. Whoever is ahead or on top is now in first place and gets to go first for the remainder until we come back to the siesta round. But let's keep ourselves in first place as the first player token. So we will continue doing our deliveries. So now I have 3 deliveries to do. And the first delivery I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver this pig over here to the butcher. And I have completed my deliveries to the butcher. He wanted 3 pigs. Because I am first, I get this token. And these are placed out at the beginning of the game, and whoever finishes a craft market first gets the token, and it is worth 1 point. So now that I've finished, I will put one of my tokens over here to show that I completed it, and I will remove my other 2 little player tokens, and I get the little butcher token. So when I turn it over, I receive 1 point per market I currently have on my board here. And so I currently have 1, so I will receive 1 point to my collection. And then I get to place my token. And going forward, every time I complete one of my markets, I will receive a point. So now I actually want to complete this market. So I have my olives here. I'm going to move that to the olives. And I have a pig here. I'm going to move that to the pig. And by just making those 2 deliveries, those were delivery number 2 and 3, I have now completed this market barrow. So I will put one of my tokens on my commodity section, which I can cash in later. And then the other token will be moved to the main board. So by completing this, I will receive 3 points. They vary from like 2 to 6 points. So this card was worth 3 points. And so I take my token and I can put it here on a place that says 3 points. Now, if your opponent has one that is less than the number you place, so this 2, I can remove them from the board and receive an additional point. So I will now receive 4 points for completing this and adding it to the main board. Once everybody completes their free deliveries, then you move into paid deliveries. And that is these deliveries here. So depending, if I had no cards, I would be eligible for 1 paid delivery. And you pay a coin and you make a delivery. But because I have the additional cards, I am eligible to have 3 paid deliveries. For now, I will not use it, but this is really beneficial, especially nearing the end of the game, where you want to fill up all those market cards you might have on your board. And the more deliveries you can make, the more items you can fill, the more markets you can complete, and the more points you can earn. Now, the last thing you do in a round is score some points. And so the first thing is your Siesta. So here it is worth 1 point. So both myself and my opponent would receive 1 point. And the second place you score is this market. And it's based on how many tokens you have. So here I currently would receive 4 points and my opponent would receive 1. So when it comes down to it, the market Barrows are where you're collecting the most points. So you have like 5 points, 6 points, 5 points, 2 points, 4 points. This is where you're getting your points. However, you can't just say, I'm only going to do this and deliver here, because that's not going to do it. You're going to really need the balance, because you need these bonuses from the craft markets that's going to constantly be giving you more resources. And you need your fields, because they're constantly giving you more resources at the beginning of each round. Sometimes the helpers give you that benefit that you're able to deliver more or gain points or gain coins. So you have to have a balance of working with the main board and then really focusing on these as well. For me personally, I like to spend the first half of the game delivering to the craft markets and trying to get my bonuses, and the second half of the game really focusing on getting these out on my board and making these deliveries and gaining the points. So you have to learn through playing the game a few times, how can you get that balance of being able to be rich in resources, that you'll be able to have enough delivery areas to deliver multiple items during a turn to fill in these to gain the points you need. I also just wanted to mention that there are 12 modules to add to the game. This is the module book. And it goes through what each of them are, how to set up the game, and how to play it. We haven't had a chance yet to play any of them, but it's a way that you can really expand on playing this game. You can also play this game solo, and the basic solo mode basically just has you remove a dice that your opponent would remove from the revenue track, and then it has you add in a little player token into the main market and do it at the effects it would have. However, if you wanted to go more intense with the solo mode, there is a whole book. And they have sort of an advanced solo setup and gameplay. And then there's also solo for the additional modules as well in here. So you're still able to play many of the modules solo if you wanted to. We've really enjoyed playing this game, and so I want to share a few things that stand out to us. And the first one are the cards. The fact that one card gives you 4 choices on how you want to use the card. We think that's very clever. And it gives you a nice strategy on, do you want another resource? Do you need that extra delivery? Are you going to go for the markets or the helper? And so we really enjoy the cards and all they have to offer. And the base game is 66 cards, but with the module, they have, I think it doubles the cards. So we haven't played with the extra big deck of cards, but we will be going forward. The other thing we really like is being able to get these craft market tile bonuses. Now, I find the butcher one isn't one I necessarily go to right away, but I got this one here right away, and just getting that extra delivery really allows you to move along that much quicker, because the more you can deliver, the more points you can get. And then over here, being able to get the pigs each round and some extra money really help as well. And the last thing is then this revenue stream right before deliveries, because it's able, if you're short on a resource, maybe you'll be able to get resources. Maybe you can do your upgrades, or you can get an extra delivery in before the deliveries. Play an extra card is really great. So there's a lot of benefits here that really help you, that might just give you what you need to do that little extra when you go into the deliveries. So the one thing we found though with La Granja is that you need to play it a few times to learn the game and build up your strategies. Playing the game is easy. I've showed you how to play it, but figuring it out how and when to play the markets and how to gain those points does take you a few rounds. So if the first time you play you don't get many points, just start again and learn from each play you do, because it gets better and better the more you play. Now the next thing that we find sometimes is at the beginning of the game, these little tiles get put on the markets, and it's decided by a roll of the die. So say that like this one down here got put on, and maybe this one up here, and maybe the money one. That would mean that you cannot go to those markets. You would have to complete the other markets, and then you would open up number 1, number 2, number 3. So number 1 is a market we really want. It's easy to get because it's just straight up your resources, but it will get you that pig every time. But before I can do that, maybe I have to deliver 3 pigs, and then once I do that, I can release another market. So that's one thing that can be frustrating if the main ones you want are all crossed off, you can't visit yet. You've got to do a lot of other work for tiles you may not want to open these up to get them. And it's both you and your opponent. So if you're both doing this, then if you're both completing this one, then 2 others would get opened. But that can be a little frustrating at the start of the game. And the last thing is the tiles. So even though they give you some benefits, you get points for laying them down on your board, you don't always have the coins to use it. Money on this game, you're either poor or somehow you have a lot. You're never in between. And so sometimes you're counting every coin you have and you just cannot afford the tiles. So that can be another part of the game that can be a little frustrating, wanting the tiles, but not being able to purchase them. But as I said, overall, we really enjoyed this game, and there's so much more to learn about it, especially exploring all the modules. And with this Deluxe Master Set, everything is included. So all the pieces we need for all those expansions. So we can't wait to play it more. So let me know if you played this one or the original game and what you think of the game.